Hey everyone, Cody from Mactelecom Networks. Today we're going to take a look at two new products from Ubiquiti that have been totally redesigned. Since the beginning of Wi-Fi 4, Ubiquiti access points have stood out from the crowd with their circular form and the LED glowing ring. Today these access points just got a much better look in my opinion, introducing the U7 Pro XG and the U7 Pro XGS. As you can tell, these APs are flat on top and are much thinner than the other APs. However, they do have some weight to them. So let's go take a closer look at the U7 XG and the XGS. And this is the U7 Pro XG and the XGS. The XG is a little bit smaller than the XGS, and you could tell the flat design right on top. I do have the protective covers on them, which I'll take off. Now, right on the top, we have the Ubiquiti branding, and then we have the LED light, which will be blue once we do have this adopted into our UniFi network application. On the back, you could also tell that this is redesigned, and we do have a 10 gigabit port inside there that is powered by PoE+ for the XG. For the XGS, it's powered by PoE++. We have this piece that we could take out if we're routing our cable from the bottom going up into the Ethernet port. Now, a couple things that come in the box. We have all of our mounting gear, and this mounting bracket does look different than the typical mounting bracket, so you're gonna have to switch that out. We also have the piece that we'd be going up into our drop ceiling, and we have the mounting template. It also comes with all the different screws that you would need for any situation that you're going to be mounting them. Doing a comparison between access points, this is the XGS and this is the U6 Enterprise. We could see the thickness there. If I lift the XGS up, it is a lot thinner, and I think these are going to really look nice on ceiling tiles. Going over some stats, the U7 Pro XG features Wi-Fi 7 with 6 GHz support, has 6 spatial streams, and could cover up to 1,500 square feet. We could have 300 plus connected devices, and it's powered by PoE+ with a 10 gigabit uplink. This will also do 1, 2.5, 5, or 10 gig support. For the U7 Pro XGS, we have Wi-Fi 7 with 6 GHz support. We have 8 spatial streams, which include real-time spectral analysis for enhanced channel selection, which we will take a look at. It has a coverage of 1,750 square feet with 500 plus connected devices, and it's powered by PoE++ with that 10 gigabit uplink. But again, we could use 1 gigabit, 2.5, 5, or 10. You may be wondering, with these new access points, they have 10 gigabit Ethernet ports, and Ubiquiti doesn't have a ton of switches that support that. Well, they are going to be coming out with a new switch line, which is the XG line. We're going to have a 24 port, a 48 port, a 10 port, and an 8 port XG switch. More coming on that later, and there will be a video down the road. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to go access point by access point. I'm going to start with the U7 Pro XG. I'm going to plug it into a 10 gigabit port on my switch, and then we're going to do some speed tests and some iPerf tests. Then we'll move on to the XGS. We'll do the same thing, but we'll look at that spectral analysis as well. Now we're on my UniFi network application, and we could see at the bottom that the U7 Pro XG is ready to be adopted. So let's get that into our application. Now the U7 Pro XG is adopted into our UniFi network application. Let's click on it and look at a couple things. We could see where it's connected to, which is my Pro HD switch on port 24, as that's a 10 gigabit connection. And you can see the uplink is at 10 gig. We also have our 2.4, our 5, and our 6 gigahertz, all 2x2 Wi-Fi 7. Now, under our radios, I'm going to leave the 2.4 at 20 and then the 5 gigahertz at 80. But for our 6 gigahertz, I'm going to boost that to 320 for the channel width and then press apply. Currently, I don't have a Wi-Fi network that is supporting 6 gigahertz, so we're going to do that and just apply it to the U7 Pro XG. Now, under our settings, I've clicked on Wi-Fi, and we're going to create a new SSID, and I'm just going to call this Wi-Fi 7 test. I'm going to give it a password of test1234. And we're just going to leave this on the native network. I'm going to click on manual because what I'm going to want to do is select this MLO or multi-link operations, and then we're going to press add Wi-Fi network. With multi-link operations and 6 gigahertz in general, it will put on WPA3 security, and some older devices may not like that. Now, I did some testing for the U7 Pro XG. My internet connection going out is 1,500 megabits per second down by about 50 up. My fiber connection is still getting repaired, but I am using the iPhone 16, which does support Wi-Fi 7, and I'm getting 1,450 down and 62 up, so I am maxing out my ISP connection. We did run an open speed test, which my access point's connected at 10 gig, and so is my NAS. And we're getting 1611 down and 1224 up. I also did an iPerf test. So for the download, I was getting 1385 down and 990 up. So we're going to do the exact same thing, but on the XGS. I ran the same test for the U7 Pro XGS, and this is the results that I was getting. Going out to the internet, I was getting 1248 down and 73.2 up. So again, we're maxing my internet connection. For our open speed test, I was getting 1422 down and 1539 up. And then for our iPerf test for the download, we are getting 1370 megabits per second down and 1507 up. And I think that is really good for this access point. Now, the next thing we need to check out with this access point is the real-time spectral analysis. Now, back on the UniFi network application, clicking on the XGS, we could see that on the 2.4, we have 2x2 Wi-Fi 7, but on the 5 gigahertz, we have 4x4. On just the standard XG, it is only 2x2, and then on the 6 gigahertz, we have 2x2 Wi-Fi 7. The only device connecting to this was my iPhone 16 for that testing. We could also look over our insights, and this is going to tell us some things about the interference. So you could tell that on the 2.4 and the 5 that we do have interference going on. Now, to check out the real-time spectrum analysis, all we need to do, we need to go over to our radios, and then we need to click on environment. We need to make sure that the XGS is the only thing that is checked off. This is what the real-time spectrum analysis looks like for the XGS. I'm currently on the 2.4 gigahertz, and we could see the waveform and we could see the waterfall. Obviously, channels 1, 6, and 11, they are pretty saturated. We can choose the 5 gigahertz and see what's going on there in real time, and also the 6 gigahertz. So this is really nice if we want to do some sort of troubleshooting. Now, we could also look at our broadcast and we could do an airtime scan. And I'm going to click on scan now. A pop-up does come up. It says confirm airtime scan. Are you sure you want to trigger an airtime scan? A scan may take more than 5 minutes. All clients using this AP will disconnect and the AP will be offline during that scan. So we're going to confirm. The channel scan has now completed and we could see the utilization on our channels for the 2.4, 5, and the 6 gigahertz. On channel 1 on the 2.4, we're seeing 21% utilization. On channel 6, we're seeing 36% utilization. So this really does help us with channel planning, but it does depend on the time of day that you're doing this scan and how many people are connected around you. And that's going to be it for my video on the U7 Pro XG and XGX. And I really do like these APs and the new form factor that they come in. One thing, these APs don't have fans. They were redesigned, unlike the U7 Pro that does have a fan. When it gets too hot, the fan will kick in. These have no fans at all. I could see myself installing a lot of these in businesses, but I know the home lab community are going to go ahead and buy a bunch of them. I'm also really excited about the new line of XG switches and can't wait to get my hands on them. If you have any questions about these APs, please leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. All right, thanks.